My roommates called me their personal maid, so I watched their nightmare unfold. I never expected my life in Paris to turn into a lesson about how quickly arrogance can crumble. When I moved into a shared apartment near the Sorbonne, I thought it would be a chance to live simply, study hard, and enjoy the energy of the city. Instead, I found myself treated as though I had been hired as my roommate's personal maid. At first, I ignored the little things. Dirty dishes piled in the sink, laundry scattered across the floor, food left to rot in the fridge. Each mess seemed to wait for me. They laughed when I scrubbed the counters or carried out the garbage, calling me their cleaning fairy, as though I enjoyed it. I tried to convince myself it was easier to keep the apartment in order than to argue. But over time, the disrespect weighed on me. I was not their servant, and yet they never lifted a hand. The breaking point came during the first week of December. Winter had settled in, with rain slicking the narrow streets and a chill sweeping through the drafty old building. My roommates decided to host a party. Invitations went out across the campus, and soon our apartment was packed with students, music, and the constant clatter of glasses. By midnight, the once cozy flat looked like a battlefield. Spilled wine stained the rug, cigarette ash scattered across the balcony, and the kitchen smelled of sour beer and burnt food. When everyone left, my roommates collapsed onto the couch, leaving me surrounded by chaos. I didn't move. For the first time, I chose not to clean. Instead, I quietly went to my room, locked the door, and let exhaustion carry me into sleep. The next morning, I awoke to shouting. From my doorway, I watched the nightmare unfold. The landlord had arrived without warning, furious at the state of the apartment. Water dripped from a broken pipe in the bathroom, something no one had bothered to report. Mold spread like dark stains along the wall, hidden until now by stacks of unwashed laundry. The landlord's eyes moved from the collapsed bottles to the stained carpet, and I could see the decision forming in his mind. My roommates tried to blame me, insisting I had always been the one who cleaned, so naturally it was my fault that the apartment looked this way. But the landlord had seen enough. He handed them a written notice and warned of the fines they would face. Their laughter and arrogance drained away, leaving them pale and silent. I didn't intervene. I stood quietly, watching as the weight of responsibility finally settled on their shoulders. In that moment, I felt a strange sense of relief. I had been invisible to them for so long, but now their nightmare was of their own making. Paris continued to hum outside cafes opening their doors, the bells of Notre Dame ringing faintly through the mist. I packed my books, stepped out into the cold air, and walked away without looking back.